Okay, I got only questions from only one person, so answers. So what about others? Are you attempting any answers? Especially the topics which were discussed in the class, or any current affairs topics that I'm like. So I want you to understand, and I want you to know how to write the answers. How many of you? At least attempting the questions. At least thinking. Okay, take a question. Okay, this is. See, have I asked you to think about a question? Whenever a question was given to you, what do you have to do first? Yes, we have to maintain the structure and especially demand of that question. So suppose when a question was given, what do you have to do first one? మీ అందరూ ఉన్నారా విన్నారా లేదా నాకు ఒకసారి చెప్పండి ఎవ్రీవన్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్ ఆన్సర్ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్ డిడ్ యూ నో ఆర్ డిడ్ వి డిస్కస్ బికాస్ ఐ డోంట్ నో ఫ్యూ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ లిసన్ ఫ్యూ నాట్ సో ఐమ్ నాట్ ష్యూర్ so how many of you have listened to this orientation session where we have discussed answer writing and generally I discussed in the class also? So how many of you? Okay, only few. See, when you take a question, so for any question, the major thing that is you have to know the demand of the question. So the question is about Competition Commission of India, but you are writing about Competition Commission, Google, not all the points. You have to write the whatever the question asked. మీకు తెలిసిన నాలెడ్జ్ అంతా అక్కడ పెడితే క్వశ్చన్ ఎగ్జామినర్ is not going to accept that. Because the examiner is not there to test your knowledge. He was there to test what is the answer for that question. The whole question paper will test your knowledge. But whether you're writing, see, I don't care how many hours you read or how much hard work you did. I only care about the answer you're writing. Whether it is according to the question or not. Question ఏంటి poverty గురించి unemployment గురించి or what it is. You have to first understand that and then you have to write an answer. So first important is demand of the question need to be addressed. For to address the demand of the question, divide the question into parts. It will take 30 seconds of your time. That's it. 30 seconds to 1 minute of your time. So divide the question into parts. Whether it is critically examiner, evaluator, describe, what it is asked. So accordingly, divide the question into parts. Introduction, parts, conclusion, what I'm going to write. Then you won't miss the demand of the question. You won't get deviated and you won't write unnecessary points. Okay, clear? So what you have to do is, if you please write one question a day, and for the rest of the questions, if you find any, what you have to do, you have to just maintain. Okay, first I will write this part. Second, I will write this part. Third, I will write this. Okay, in the first part, these 2 points. Second part, these 2 points. Just give a thought to your mind. Basically, this is the first thing what you have to do. You have to learn the demand of the question. Second thing that is, you have to write the subject in a concise and precise manner. If you want me to explain a topic, so suppose if I ask you to, this topic can explain just Miku, and I'm asked you to explain me back. You can say it in 1,000 words, but you have a problem here. The word limit is restricted. The word limit is restricted and the space is restricted and the time. So we don't have time, we don't have the space, or we don't have the words also. So for that reason, what you have to do is, whatever you want to say, ఈ స్ట్రక్చర్లో రాయాల్సిన పాయింట్స్ ఏవైనా సరే, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద మైట్ బి ద పాయింట్స్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు సే దెమ్ ఇన్ అ precise domain, less words. You have to able to communicate it to the examiner. That is the one which you have to learn in an answer writing. అర్థమవుతుందా? Day 1, 2, almost 2 months, 3 months I think so. So all these months I'm saying only one thing, please write, because it is this concise and precise manner is difficult to achieve. Because I have, see, suppose the question is about advantages of something like advantages of the national credit framework or advantages of our new educational policy. I know the advantages of 12 points or 14 points, but the time is less and the words is less. So we have to concise them and precise them. So please, that you will get the technique of writing, you'll get only by practice. So these are the 2 things I want you to understand. Demand of the question, which will help you to maintain the structure also, and also addressing the question and writing it in a concise and precise manner. Okay, please write down the answers. At least attempt 1 or 2. daily, on a daily basis. Not when I'll look after it when I clear the prelims. Don't even think about it like that. You can't master that. Even the seniors who gave the 2 to 3 attempts where they lost, if you ask the first one, they'll say answer writing. They don't know how to put it in a mains examination, the content which they have. Okay, anyways. So now we'll take the topic Competition Commission of India, which was in the news. So what is in the news? So Competition Commission of India imposed a fine of roughly 2,000 crores. Roughly 2,000 crores on Google. So 1 week they imposed around 1,300 and other week they imposed 900 crores. So 2,000 crores. So what is the issue? Why that much penalty? So we'll see both the issues separately. So first one is abusing the Android mobile device ecosystem. For that the Competition Commission of India will look for the fair and free competition, a healthy competition in the market. What is the major purpose of this Competition Commission of India in simple words? To look for a fair competition, healthy competition in our market, okay, among the companies. So now what it is talking here, so there is an abuse of this Android mobile device ecosystem. We'll see that. I'll tell you what the abuse is. So this is one issue where it has to pay 1,300. The other issue is with respect to the Play Store policies of the Google, because they were, this is the policies that they are following is not good for the healthy competition. This is not good for the healthy competition. They are not fair practices. They are not fair. So that is the reason why they imposed this fines. So what was that? First one is Android mobile ecosystem. What is happening in the Android mobile ecosystem? Suppose if I bought a Nokia or any other manufacturing companies, mobile manufacturing units, original equipment managers. So let's take this Nokia or some company. Now Nokia is no more existing, so anyways, not that famous. So suppose now Google will sell. So now Nokia will have inbuilt apps. Oh, no, fine, thank you. So the Google will sell or give a license of using Android. Android is operating system. So the Android operating system is given to Nokia. So for other manufacturing units as a license. Now what they'll do? So Nokia will have a deal with Google, will give its open source. It's an open one. Android OS is open one. So open source to Nokia. Some license fee they will take. That is a deal. So what they have to do, Nokia, they have to install automatically in-app. In-app they'll have this Chrome, YouTube, Google Maps or other applications that were related to Google. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So for the Nokia will buy a Android OS from Google, will take a license of using this Android OS from Google. So that way, this Nokia app, when I open this, when I activate my mobile, so automatically we'll have some applications of Google. Fine. So what is the issue is, what is the benefit for this Nokia? What they'll share, the Google will share some revenue that is getting from this use of by customers. That revenue will go to, some of it revenue will go to Nokia and the Google will have consumers. Ardhamotunda nenu Nokia. Naku mee OS icharu. You gave me your OS for a license. So what I'm doing, and you'll also share your revenue. See, I'm using my mobile, Nokia mobile lo already YouTube, Chrome, then on cheyagane I have all those applications. I'm not having Firefox. When open cheyagane Mozilla Firefox raatledu, naku Google search option vastundi. Right? So naku appudu em avutundi, what I'm doing here is na app ni nu veskoni నీ మొబైల్ ఆన్ చేయగానే నా యాప్స్ ఇస్తున్నావు కాబట్టి దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వై ఐల్ షేర్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ మై రెవెన్యూ విత్ యూ నోకియా. ఓకే, అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెనిఫిట్ ఫర్ గూగుల్? ద కస్టమర్ బేస్. ఐల్ హ్యావ్ మోర్ కన్స్యూమర్స్. See how many people are using this mobile devices Nokia. I'll get all the consumers because everyone has to use the Google search first, not the Mozilla Firefox. అర్థమైందా లేదా? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో. డోంట్ కీప్ బ్లాంక్ ఫేసెస్. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ఎస్, ఎస్. ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ నో, నో. Because we have to deal many topics. Because of your blank faces, I'm keeping on repeating the same one again and again. Okay, clear? So now what is happening? So this is unfair. The Nokia is having advantages. The mobile users are having advantages because they are having a share in the revenue. And this Google is also having advantage because it is getting more customers. More customers. But what about the other players? What about the other players? They're not having even competitive advantage. Open చేయగానే Google search ఉంది. Why I have to install the Mozilla Firefox? Mozilla Firefox is other company, other search engine. So why do I have to install Firefox when I already having Google search engine? So this is unfair. You are not giving advantage or not, you are not giving space to other applications or other services. Clear? How many of you got this? Because the whole topic is going to run on this. Yes or no? So, Android OS, see, Google licensed this product to manufacture devices. Nokia lanti vatiki or other apps ki, they are giving this as a license. So, but when the Google ties or bundles certain applications, when you want my Android OS, you have to provide these applications. So then whenever we open it, automatically we'll get those things. So now what happened? The device manufacturers will share a percentage of Google search revenue, whereas these people will have, cost will be reduced for these people and these people will have the user base, consumers. These are the 2 points we thought. Next, for that reason, this is unfair. Unfair for the other services, other apps. See, Google Maps kaakunda vere application cheppandi. So we have other iApp and okati untundi. So where we'll have the other, see, automatically if I ask you to search on the map or location, what it will go for you? First మనకి Google Map automatically వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. నోటికి కూడా రావట్లేదు వేరే యాప్స్ ఏమున్నాయి మ్యాప్ రూటింగ్కి అని. We can't even say that much how we were addicted or how much we are using this Google or the services provided by the Google. So there is no level playing field for the other players. I can't compete if I'm having a better app. Let us think better mapping app I developed, but I'm not having a level playing field. I can't compete with the Google. So that is unfair competition, but it is not a level playing field. So what is the Competition Commission of India did? You have to allow users to choose their default search engine. First one, నాకు ఇష్టం అవ్వాలి, whether I want to go search in the Google or whether I want to go for Firefox or whether I want to use the Internet Explorer, whatever it might be. It should be, or Yahoo, it should be my choice. It should be the user's choice to select the search engine. See, the topics which I'm taking in the class are majorly those topics which will be difficult for you to read on yourself. That is why I'm simplifying things. So in the time that we have. Okay, next. What is the other one that did? I developed an app. Let's think I developed an app, a gaming app or whatever it might be. So where I have to put that app? In Play Store. In Android, we have to put in a Play Store. But if I'm not agreeing to the Google conditions, it is not allowing me to put it in the Play Store. What it is saying, we have to distribute my apps in another way. So in then Google or wherever I have to go, and from there I have to download that app. Play Store నుంచి కాకుండా యాప్స్ని మనం గూగుల్ నుంచి కూడా డైరెక్ట్గా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. Or from Yahoo or other search engines నుంచి we can download that apps. That is called side loading. దాన్ని side loading అంటాం. Now what is happening? So Google itself is saying, what is Google is saying? If you are putting your apps, if I'm downloading it through from Google or anything else, if not from the Play Store, it is having a security threat. What is he saying is, మళ్ళీ చెప్తా వినండి. యాప్స్ ఎక్కడ పెడతాము? మామూలుగా మన యాప్స్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఎక్కడి నుంచి చేసుకుంటాము? ప్లే స్టోర్ నుంచి చేసుకుంటాం. అక్కడి నుంచి చేసుకోకపోతే ఎక్కడి నుంచి చేసుకోవాలి? గూగుల్ నుంచో లేకపోతే ఇంకా ఫైర్ ఫాక్స్ నుంచో వేరే సోర్స్ నుంచి వాళ్ళ వెబ్సైట్స్కి వెళ్ళి యాప్ని మనం డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అవునా? నెక్స్ట్, ఇప్పుడు అట్లా డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్న యాప్స్ని వాళ్ళ వెబ్సైట్ నుంచి డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్న యాప్స్కి సెక్యూరిటీ లేదు అని గూగులే చెప్తుంది. నా ప్లే స్టోర్ నుంచి చేసుకోండి, యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ అ సెక్యూరిటీ. సో ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ వైరస్, ఇట్ ఈస్ సేఫ్. బయట నుంచి చేసుకున్న వాటికి సేఫ్ లేవని నువ్వే చెప్తున్నావు. సో దెన్ హౌ ద అదర్ పీపుల్, సో అంటే యాప్ చేసిన ప్రతి వాడు నీ గూగుల్ ప్లే స్టోర్ నుంచి డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. దట్ ఈస్ అన్ఫేర్. సో వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ సెయింగ్ హియర్, it asked Google not to restrict the ability of app developers to distribute their apps through side loading. So offering their apps outside the Google Play Store. They can opt for the Play Store కాకుండా పక్కన కూడా యాప్స్ని డెవలప్ చేసుకొని అప్లోడ్ చేసుకునే క్యాపబిలిటీ ఇవ్వాలి. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ టూ ఇష్యూస్. వన్ ఈజ్ ఆటోమేటిక్ డిఫాల్ట్ సర్చ్ ఇంజిన్ వచ్చి గూగుల్ వస్తుంది. You should stop this. And the other thing is, they should able to allow it for the side loading of apps. So for these things, they were given a penalty because of unfair practices. Okay, this is also talking about the same. So the licensing of Play Store to OEMs means original equipment manufacturers. Like the example which we took here is Nokia. Should not be linked to the requirement of pre-installing the Google search or Chrome's or anything else. So it should not be given to the, see automatically మనం ఎప్పుడైనా మీరు ఆండ్రాయిడ్ ఫోన్ న్యూ ఫోన్ స్టార్ట్ చేయగానే మనకి ప్లే స్టోర్ ఉంటుంది. నాకు వాట్సాప్ కావాలన్నా ఏం కావాలన్నా నేను ప్లే స్టోర్ నుంచి డౌన్లోడ్ చేసేసుకుంటాను, రైట్? సో బట్ వాట్ అబౌట్ మై యాప్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇన్ ద ప్లే స్టోర్, దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ మై కండిషన్? పీపుల్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఆప్టింగ్ ఫర్ ఇట్. అనుకుందాం, లెట్స్ థింక్ ఐ హ్యావ్ డెవలప్డ్ అ వెరీ గుడ్ యాప్ లైక్ వాట్సాప్ ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్. I can't have that customer base. When we put it in the Google or the Play Store, I'm having it consumers. So Google is taking the advantage of this. It is unfair. So for 1 week, they got the penalty on the abusing the Android mobile device ecosystem. Now you got that? A mobile device ecosystem ఏదైతే టోటల్గా ఉందో దాన్ని అబ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఎట్లా అబ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నారు? By giving the default, the original equipment manufacturers or the mobile device manufacturers will get a license directly from when they're taking license from the Google. So automatically by default, the search engines or other applications of Google are downloading. They are the options that they're getting. Next, the issue related to Play Store. So now, I uploaded an app in the Play Store. So now, so I have to pay some bill to the Google. Now I have to pay some money to the Google. So what is a billing payment or the interface that we are getting? Or automatically it is redirecting it to the GPay. నేను యాప్ తయారు చేశాను, ప్లే స్టోర్లో పెట్టినప్పుడు గూగుల్ నన్ను డబ్బులు కట్టమని అడుగుతుంది కదా, నా యాప్ అందులో పెట్టినందుకు కొంచెం మినిమం అమౌంట్. ఆ మినిమం అమౌంట్ నాకు ఎక్కడ డైరెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది? జీపేకి డైరెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ గివింగ్ మీ ఆప్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫోన్పే ఆర్ పేటిఎం ఆర్ పేపాల్. ఈ ఆప్షన్స్ ఏవి ఇవ్వట్లేదు. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ హియర్, వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇస్ అదర్ అప్లికేషన్స్, ఫోన్పే ఆర్ అదర్ హ్యావింగ్ అన్ లెస్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. దిస్ జీపే ఈస్ హ్యావింగ్ మోర్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. నెక్స్ట్, ఇన్ యాప్ పర్చేసెస్. ఇప్పుడు నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నా అదర్ యాప్స్. ఎర్లియర్ కేసులోనేమో నేను యాప్ ప్లే స్టోర్లో పెట్టాను. ఐఎమ్ అన్ యాప్ డెవలపర్. ఫస్ట్ కేస్, ఐఎమ్ అన్ యాప్ డెవలపర్, ఐఎమ్ కీపింగ్ మై యాప్ ఇన్ అన్ ప్లే స్టోర్. సో దానికి డబ్బులు కట్టాలన్నా ఐ హ్యావ్ టు గో టు జీపే అండ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు పే ద మనీ. ఇప్పుడు నేను వేరే యాప్ నేను డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాను, ఒక కస్టమర్ని. సో ఐఎమ్ డౌన్లోడింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ యాప్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ప్లే స్టోర్. ఐ హ్యావ్ టు పే మనీ టు ద ఫ్యూ యాప్స్. వీ హ్యావ్ టు పే మనీ, ఇన్ యాప్ పర్చేసెస్ అని అంటారు. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు పే మనీ. ఆ మనీ కట్టాను కూడా ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇట్ ఈస్ రీడైరెక్టింగ్ ఇట్ టు ద జీపే. సో ఈవెన్ ఫర్ దోస్ థింగ్స్, లెట్ us థింక్ ఐఎమ్ డౌన్లోడింగ్ సమ్ నేను గేమ్ డెవలప్ చేశాను, నాకు కమిషన్ ఎక్కువ వస్తుంది. సో నేను జీపే నుంచి పే చేసి నాకు 200 రూపాయలు పడుతుంది. ఇఫ్ ఐమ్ పేయింగ్ ఇట్ త్రూ ఫోన్పే, ఐ గెటింగ్ ఓన్లీ 150 రూపీస్. I want to pay it through PhonePe because it is giving me a commission. But what it is redirecting? It is directing me to, it said recently we corrected this measure, but it need to be full-fledgedly, it need to be implemented. So that is the issues with Play Store policies. One thing is abusing the Android mobile device ecosystem. Ecosystem ne part chestundi by giving an license to the or using these applications to the manufacturing units. So Google raised a question. So these are the allegations made on a Google. What Google said, see, we are providing eminent services, very good services, quality services at a very low cost to the Indians. And we're also working like an Apple. See, even if you open to the I app, in the app, so in the iPhone also we'll have App Store, Apple Store. So in the what will happen in the Apple Store or in the Apple OS? So code said by Apple OS is, it is closed source. They are not giving it to any license to anyone else. Only iPhone వాళ్ళు మాత్రమే Apple OS వాడతారు. Whereas your Android is used by everyone. And yours is an open source. Apple లో ఉన్న system ఏంటిది? It is a closed one. It is open source. And it is used only by iPhone. And yours is used by many people. So many consumers. And iPhone is somewhat luxury product. So this is a product which will be used by Androids or the phones that is used by the most common people of India. So don't compare yourself with the iPhone. That's what the discussion went on. Okay. Anyways, that is not needed for us. So what the thing that was needed is how the issue went with the Google. And the other thing that we need here is, so we can go to the points, that is what I explained you earlier. So the Competition Commission of India. So it was a statutory body. In paper 2, we have a topic, constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, non-constitutional bodies. We have a topic. So what is it here? It is a statutory body. Established, when it's a statutory, we should have some law. It is under Competition Act 2002. Okay. Next. Under which ministry? Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is to eliminate practices having an adverse effect on competition, promote and sustain competition, protect the interests of consumers, ensure freedom of trade by other participants in the markets in India. So even if it is mergers and acquisitions, I will come to that point also. Suppose mergers and acquisitions, it will see whether the mergers and acquisitions are took place in a fair manner or not. See, Reliance is a body where it can buy many other companies, small companies it can take. Whether that merging or acquisitions are fair or not. See, వాళ్ళు తలుచుకుంటే అన్ని కాంపిటీషన్స్ని తీసేసుకొని they can be a sole body. Let's think, ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ ఉంది, shoes or whatever, or a Reliance supermarket, whatever might be. If it absorb or if it take all other supermarkets, what will happen? There won't be competition. When there is no competition, what will happen? Whatever Reliance is, that will be the ultimatum. Whatever the prices they will decide, that will be the final one. There should be a competition, and that competition should be healthy. When the competition is healthy, then only it will benefit to the consumers based on the prices, for the prices perspective or the quality perspective. So to protect that, mergers and acquisitions will also overseen by Competition Commission of India. So what it will generally do, it will give its opinion on competition issues to government or other any bodies they have doubts. It will give an opinions, and it will also give advocacy for creating awareness of competition law. And not only that, see, few bodies will have this function. Few bodies will be quasi-judicial. Not everyone will be quasi-judicial. What is quasi-judicial? Not only just saying the rules, they can even enforce them. See, National Human Rights Commission, they can sumoto, they can take a case, and they can also ask the bodies to do that work. They have that right. So quasi-judicial powers or quasi little body. I mean some partially. Okay. So it is a partial judicial body. See, I can't just giving an opinions or just giving a recommendations will not always work well. They have to make sure that this work. Okay. For that reason, it also has a quasi-judicial body. Next. So under which act we have this? Competition Act 2002, and it was amended in 2007. So Act prohibits any anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position by enterprises. Here the Google is having a dominant position. So all the way you have seen these articles about this issue, you will see the word dominant position, dominant player. And regulates combinations. What is this? Acquisitions, acquiring of control, and mergers and acquisitions. So which causes are likely to have an appreciable adverse effect on the competition. So whatever is affecting adversely the competition in India, this act will oversee. And to oversee this act, the monitoring body is Competition Commission of India. So we have a tribunal, competition. So earlier we have a tribunal, this Competition Appellate Tribunal, so which was changed to National Company Law Tribunal. It is a judicial body. Competition Commission is a quasi-judicial body. But I don't like the judgments given by the whatever the discussion that was under this Competition Commission of India. I want to appeal. Where we have to appeal? It is National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. To there we can send the case, appeal. We have to see whether the Google will agree to this number or not. So further we have challenges. See, Web 3.0 or AI, IoT, blockchain, other technologies are going to come, which is going to take the competition away from the other people. So that is other, and see, neutrality should be there, confidentiality should be there. So other products also need to be observed. Okay, so this is going to be a challenge for the Competition Commission of India. So especially the privacy, the data protection, the confidentiality, all these things are important for the robust competition in India. Okay, so these are going to be a huge challenge for this body to implement a fair competition in India. So what we learned now in this topic. So what are the two issues that was Competition Commission of India, on what basis? Like what are the two issues that was fined? Google. So abuse of Android mobile device ecosystem. So where the license was given to the mobile manufacturers. So and then automatically the default search engine will be Google. So the CCI, the Competition Commission of India, so declared that Google should not be the choice should be given to the users, whether it should be a default search engine or not. And for other apps also, it should be you should have to give the side loading. That is one. And the other one is issue related to Play Store. So it should not be directed always to the not Google Pay, you can say Google building system. Okay. So for the bill, you should not always direct it to the Google building system. They should be given other options. So question ella adagachu. The point here is not just learning the topic. So what could be the possible questions here? The possible question is, what is Competition Commission of India? What is the work, or what are the, so see, whenever there is a body, a statutory body, or whenever you're learning a constitutional body or non-constitutional body, it will have some good work it is already done. So you have to keep that case studies in your mind. Okay, if it is NHRC, so it had a very good, what we can say, reputation in solving the cases in the Naxalism, human rights in the Naxalbari areas, especially in Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. So oka line lo case cheppagalgali. So how it solved that? So when you're writing this Google, even it's a technical giant, we made it to follow the Indian rules. So even we've imposed a fine on the Google. This is one of the work of Competition Commission of India. So what you'll do whenever you're learning a body, what should be the framework? See, I always asked you to think about the framework first. What we'll do? What is that body? So what are its functions? See, what is it body means? Under which act, constitutional body or non-constitutional body, statutory, all these things. Next, we have to see what are its functions. Functions you should know in a precise way and simple line lo cheppa. So it will look after the mergers and acquisitions. It will look after the fair play in the level playing field. It will protect the healthy competition in India. Simple words. You don't need to have to give the whatever the words which I have given. They were from the Constitution Commission of India website. We can't write that jargon. You can write on your own. So it will also look for the protecting the consumer's welfare. So those are the words which you have to use. Write in your own words. So then you can write in a precise and a concise way. Okay. We'll see the functions. What is the work till it has, like, what are the work it was done till now? For that, we need good examples also. Keep in your mind some examples. What are the problems? Or you can say, see, some will have problems, some will have challenges. So we'll do that. Or what are the recommendations? Do you know our election commission was asked to conduct elections in Russia? So that was the power of our election commission. So how we are having this smooth transitions from one party to the other party, how we are such a huge population with such diversity, states, constituencies, MPs, MLAs. So It's how many polling officers, polling booths we have to conduct. It was done by Election Commission of India. So there are many cases. Not only that, even our Food Corporation of India was also asked to procure food for the FAO. So many things were going. See, WHO asked us support from the FCA. So there are many cases where we were so superiors. So Atlant example immediately you have to remember them. I'd write it out somewhere in a paper 2 book. Okay? So challenges. We'll write these challenges over here. What is the way forward? Is there any other recommendations? How do we have to improve that body? So this is how you have to learn an body. Whatever it might be. Okay? Okay, next. So this was the news. We know pretty clearly. So what it is? So the ISRO's heaviest launch vehicle. So GSLV, Geosynchronous Launch Vehicle Mark III. It took off from our Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota and it successfully launched the 36 satellites into the respective orbits. This is the news. So what it is? See, I'm not going to deal what is the satellites in every detail. So I'll give you a basic idea so that we can finish this topic. Okay. See, here is the Earth. Earth majorly will have 3 orbits. One is low Earth orbit. Is the topic done for you? Middle Earth orbit and beyond, long one. So low Earth orbit is roughly 200 kilometers to 2000. Some will consider this as 1000 only. And middle Earth orbit is, say, 200 kilometers from Earth. Okay. 2000 kilometers to 35,500. You can remember 35,000 kilometers. Middle Earth. And beyond that is long Earth orbit. Clear? These are the 3 orbits that will be revolving around the Earth. Now, see the Earth, how many days? Like it will take 24 hours for us to revolve around the Earth. The day is 24 hours, like 23 hours, 56 seconds, 56 minutes, 4 seconds. We'll take round figure as 24. If the satellite is moving in this 35,000 kilometers orbit, to complete one revolution, it will take 24 hours. It will take 24 hours for a satellite to move around the Earth, complete around the Earth in 35,000 kilometers. So, whenever the orbit, suppose if I selected 400 kilometers orbit, now my satellite I placed it in 400 kilometers. It will revolve the Earth around 15 to 20 times. In a single day, it will revolve the Earth 15 to 20 times. International Space Station is around 400 kilometers from Earth. It will take 15 times it will complete the rotations in the Earth. So, manam aa satellite ni 15 times chudochu in a day. So, such type of things, when it is useful, 15 times in a day tirutundi. Unna 24 hours lo, adu 15 times, 17 times tirutunte. So, where I can use that such type of satellites? Suppose there is a cyclone that was going on, or I have to do some mapping, or there is a forest fires or floods, which will give us an important information continuously. If I place them in first of all, low Earth orbit, they are close to the Earth. So I can observe the mapping, we can do the mapping or forest fires or floods, we can see them very clearly, one thing. And it will revolve around the Earth 15 times. The example here is, I am talking about International Space Station. It is around 400 kilometers from Earth. Got it? So 3 orbits. So as the orbit is moving towards the distances here, it will revolve more than one time. Here it will take 24 hours. If it is in 35,000 kilometers. Clear? These 3 orbits are clear. Now, we'll take another one. Now we have we have majorly PSLV. See, first we have SLV, ASLV. So those are first generation, second generation, not so important for us. So we need PSLV. This is a 3rd generation rocket in our space system. So PSLV, and next we have GSLV Mark II, and next we have GSLV Mark III. So first we have to understand what is PSLV, what is GSLV. First we'll see GSLV. So what is here geosynchronous. Geo means earth. Earth synchronous. So suppose this is an orbit. Here we have an equator. First, there are two things in this geosynchronous. One is geostationary orbit. The other is geosynchronous orbit. What is happening in the geostationary orbit? The orbit is parallel to the earth. I'll show the picture of it. Equator ఎలా ఉందో రింగ్, ఆ ఈక్వేటర్ రింగ్ మీద ఆర్బిట్ ఉంటుంది అరౌండ్. సో అది లో ఎర్త్ ఆర్బిటా లేకపోతే మిడిల్ ఎర్త్ ఆర్బిటా, దట్ ఇస్ విల్ సీ దట్ లేటర్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఎర్త్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఈక్వేటర్ అండ్ ద ఆర్బిట్ విల్ బి హియర్. So that is along the equator. So it will take 24 hours for the stationary. So whenever I look up to from the earth, it will be there itself. నాకు అది ఫిక్స్డ్ పొజిషన్లో కనపడుతుంది whenever I see from the earth. Anytime it will be looking for, if I look at up it will be, because it is revolving with my pace. Now earth is taking 24 hours to rotate. So the same time with for the GSLV orbit satellite. So it will also be whenever I look, it will be in the same place. So that is geostationary is along the equator. Next we have geosynchronous. Geosynchronous will have some inclination to the earth. It is also geo. It is also with respect to the earth only. It will see from the inclination. So suppose this is earth and here we have equator. So here we have geosynchronous. So depending upon my condition, now we will have inclination. We will have inclination towards it. ఈ ఆర్బిట్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే I'll show you the picture of it. See, so this is geostationary. So along with our equator we'll have this. So when we'll have some inclination, not to the polars, when we have some inclination, it could be like this. Those are geosynchronous. Geostationary orbit is geosynchronous, but all geosynchronous orbits are not geostationary. Clear? Geostationary is with respect to earth equator. Geosynchronous will have inclination. For the geosynchronous satellite also will take 24 hours. For the geostationary will also have 24 hours to complete one cycle, one orbit rotation, and this will also take 24 hours. Clear? Ardhamainda leda? Simple words. Okay? So those are GSLV, geosynchronous, geostationary satellites. So where generally we'll use these? So where we have to, especially remote sensing satellites, or you can say, you can say this weather forecasting. Such type of things we'll have used this. Because whenever, see, I have to watch this border very regularly, the same time, continuously. It is always under the top of, so we can easily observe things. Okay, Next we have PSLV. See, the other orbit is polar orbit. The other orbit is polar orbit. Polar orbit means it goes through the poles, North Pole and South Pole. So this is a Earth. So the geosynchronous will go like this or inclinations. Equator chuttuna tirutundi lekapothe inclinations totana veltundi. What is another orbit? It will go to the poles like this, perpendicularly. So now sun synchronous. PSLV is sun synchronous. This is geosynchronous. PSLV is near polar orbit and it revolves in a sun synchronous orbit. I will tell you what is sun synchronous. Geostationary satellite, whenever it is fixed, from my perspective, it is fixed. So if I place a satellite in a sun synchronous orbit, it is fixed from the sun's perspective. From the perspective of the sun, the satellite is fixed, not for us. Okay, I'll tell you that also. Wait. So here, so this is equator. So like this, along the poles, North Pole, South Pole. So it will move like this, the orbits. Generally, PSLVs will be usually low Earth orbits. PSLVs will be usually low Earth and sometimes middle Earth. If I want to launch an sun synchronous satellite, I want to place a satellite in a sun synchronous orbit in a low Earth orbit, I have to use PSLV. So when it is sun synchronous, so itla rotate avutundi. See, I'll show you like this. So this is an equator. So the satellite is coming, it will come like this. So it will rotate. It went like this, and it went and it came and it will come here. And next time it will start from here, because it is rotating. It is fixed according to the sun. So it will rotate and it will come over here. In this way, if you place an orbit in a PSLV, sun synchronous orbit, it will cover the total world. Total globe is covered. And it is placed in a low Earth orbit. When it is a low Earth orbit, it will revolve around 15 times, 20 times. So we can cover the world 15 times and 20 times. Suppose what is happening is, in Paris, if I see at 12 o'clock or anytime, so or in India, suppose now if I can see a satellite in PSLV, launched satellite, sun synchronous satellite, I'll see it tomorrow exactly at 4 o'clock, that orbit, that satellite. I can't see the whole day. So exactly the same time I can see that. So it is revolving the Earth 15 times, but covering the whole world globally. Okay. So that is this sun synchronous object. Okay, clear? So now, the polar satellite launch vehicle, the PSLV, so we are like masters in this PSLV. We launched the 53 successful missions, only 2 were failed. So we tried to get a grip over GSLV for a long time, but somehow successful. 14 missions of 4 were ended recently. Last year also we got lost one satellite in GSLV. So that is one. So here we have next one, that is GSLV Mark 3. This is Mark 2 and here we have Mark 3. So this was successful. It never disappointed us. So by using this Mark 3, we have launched this 36 satellites, that heavy weight, 6 tons into the orbit. So next, another thing that we are working is reusable launch vehicle. See, when we are imagining to build a space station in the moon or the India space station, China have international space stations, everyone have their space stations. When we want to build our own, when we want to send human beings or the material to the space, so we should have reusable launch vehicles. So the launch vehicles, after putting the satellite in an orbit, they have to come back to the Earth, and so that we can reuse them. On that we are working on. This is our next ones. Okay. So this is the third stage, and next we have these 2, and next this is going to the next one. SLV, ASLV, PSLV, GSLV Mark 2, 3, and next we have RLV. Okay, reusable one. Okay, this is the orbits. Okay. So on what basis the size of a launch vehicle should be? See, one is the destination in space, where they want to go, whether they want to go to the Mars or whether they have to go to the low Earth orbit or middle Earth orbit, whether it have to be placed in which orbit, from what distance, 200 or 300, where. So based on the destination, based on the kind of fuel that we are using in the rocket, and based on the payloads. Payloads means here satellites. Based on the payloads, so size of the payloads, all these things will decide the size of our launch vehicle. Okay. Next, so if we have to compromise, if we are giving importance to do these things, we have to compromise this. So if I have to send, the destination is long, I have to send put a satellite in a very long distance, then I have to compromise the number of satellites that I am putting in the rocket. So these are the variables that decides the size of the launch vehicle. The major, when the fuel is most burnt, so it will take Earth for us. So most of the fuel, 80 to 90% of the fuel is consumed in the Earth's atmosphere, because we have to overcome the gravity. So after that to reach the moon, suppose let's think if you want to reach the moon, it will take 80%, 90% of the fuel within the Earth's atmosphere. After that atmosphere to the moon, it will take only 10% of the fuel. So because it all depends upon the fuel that we are using and the size and the destination. So that's what I'm talking about here. So see, in the fuel can be many chemicals. So we can use the solid, liquid and cryogenic. And recent this launch vehicle Mark 3. So we have used all the 3. So for the lift we have used a solid and then liquid stage and then a cryogenic stage. All the 3 stages were used in the launch vehicle Mark 3. fuel వాడేది 3 stages: solid, liquid and cryogenic. So we used all the 3 in because they provide different thrust. Okay, so next, what we are looking in a space, what we are looking for other maneuvers in our space is 2 things. One, we have to see there are many future projects. One is we want to build a permanent station on the moon. We want to take human beings to the Mars. Gangayaan was there, already there for us. So carrying the people. So multiple trips we have to make to the moon or wherever in the space. That is one. The other way is we can use the material that is available on the planets itself to make an vehicles. అర్థమవుతుందా? మనకి చాలా లాంచ్ వెహికల్స్ కావాలి మల్టిపుల్ ట్రిప్స్ వేయడానికి, ఆర్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు యూస్ ద రీయూజబుల్ లాంచ్ వెహికల్. సో విల్ మేక్ వన్ లాంచ్ వెహికల్ అండ్ వీ కెన్ యూస్ ద మల్టిపుల్ ట్రిప్స్. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ వే. ద అదర్ ఈస్ using the material that is available on the moon or in the space to generate an launch vehicle so that we can use it again. అక్కడున్న వాటితో ఆ స్టేషన్ని బిల్డ్ చేయడానికి చూడాలి, స్పేస్ స్టేషన్ or whatever we are trying to build, or we have to send it to the multiple times. So the next thing that people were trying to do is this. For all the future missions, they're trying to produce it on the moon or the Mars itself. See, there are many debris in the space. So many waste satellites were revolving around it. They're thinking many probabilities how to use it, reuse it. So see, this is our launch vehicle 3. Lift-off mass is 640 tons. So it is majorly went to the lower Earth orbit. So roughly around 200 kilometers. So and 8 tons if it is to the other stationary orbits. So 35,000 kilometers it will go to the 4 tons. So if our Mark 3 can take to the low Earth orbit, it can take to the mass of 8 tons. Payloads ni satellites 8 tons unna vaatini low Earth orbit ki teeskeladu. Mana Mark 3, if it have to send it to the geostationary orbits, geotransfer middle Earth, that is 35 kilometers, it can only take over 4 tons. Ikkada varaku aithenemo it can carry 8 tons. 35,000 kilometers it can carry only 4 tons. But if you compare with the other countries, see, they can take Europe, they can take to the low Earth orbit 20 tons, and to the geostationary time they can take 10 tons. We can take only 4 tons. So these are the other countries which can take even very long, huge tons of payloads to the space. This is the comparison, just PSLV, GSLV. You please go through them. So now, ippudaka manam em chadukunnam. So what we have learned till now. So that is, what are the orbits? Low Earth, middle Earth, and we have seen geostationary and geosynchronous, and we also have seen sun synchronous. PSLV, GSLV Mark 2, Mark 3. Now we also seeing that what it is. Now we'll see particularly this Mark 3. So what is here it is? This is the New Space India Limited and OneWeb. OneWeb is from UK based industry, and that UK based industry, most of the partnership is from Bharti Enterprise. Okay. So this LV Mark 3E satellite, this rocket is launched by the joint venture of NSIL, that is New Space India Limited, and this is OneWeb. OneWeb anedi UK based company. Andaru gurtupettukoni chalu. So what they are trying to do is, this OneWeb people, they want to place actually good number of satellites in an orbit. High speed, low latency global connectivity. 12 rings of 49 satellites each. ఈ OneWeb వాళ్ళ గోల్ ఏంటి? లో ఎర్త్ ఆర్బిట్లో they want to make 12 rings. 12 rings, and each ring they want to place 49 satellites. So almost all the satellites were launched. And this is the 14th launch of them. 462, the OneWeb's 14th launch, bringing the constellation of already 462 satellites. So in another 2 launches of launch vehicle Mark 3, they will complete that constellation of 588 satellites. Already 462 వెళ్ళిపోయినాయి satellites. So Earth unte, so they are making 12 rings around it and 49 satellites in each one. That is the target. They already launched 460 satellites. Okay. So ఇప్పుడు క్వశ్చన్, They're not going us to ask about what is launch 3, one way bole any satellites launch చేశారు. That is not the question. What is the significance of this launch? ఈ launch వల్ల మనకు వచ్చే బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటి? Heavy launches, we are giving this heavy weight satellites into the orbit. So what is the significance of it? Think on your side. ఆలోచించండి. ఇన్ని satellites మనము లాంచ్ చేస్తే what is the benefit? Good. It will be helpful for our commercial space sector. See, we want to launch, we are launching the satellites. See, I'm a company. Some company, big company. I want to, Reliance has already many satellites launched, many. So I want to launch a satellite so that I can look after my developments. Or I'm TV channel. Some TV channel, I want for the communications, I want to place my satellite on the orbit. So what I have to do? I'll ask the ISRO. Earlier, we don't have that provision. We used to ask the other place. So now I'll ask the ISRO or other companies. See, Bangladesh can't launch, Bangladesh channel or communications, they can't launch their own satellites. It will be difficult for them. So they'll ask us to launch. That is the commercial sector. So lifting and 36 satellites at a time, that is definitely helpful for our commercial perspective of our space organization. Right? So first it will end the dependency of other nations. So more ambitious parts of India's space programs, deep space programs. Deep space programs, and I have to launch many satellites. So I can be with this, I can launch many satellites at a time. See, earlier we used to depend on EU. Europe space organization మీద డిపెండ్ అయ్యే వాళ్ళం. మన హెవీ లైక్ ఎక్కువ సాటిలైట్స్ లాంచ్ చేయాలంటే వీ యూస్ టు ఆస్క్ దోస్ పీపుల్. నౌ వీ ఆర్ నాట్ డిపెండబుల్. Even for deep space explorations in the coming futures, or the manned missions or the moon landings, we can do on our own. So it will end the dependency on other countries first. Next, see, our majorly, if Bangladesh asks me to launch a satellite, what I'll do? We are experts in PSLV. So we used to launch most of the satellites of other countries or commercial satellites. What we used to do? We used to launch through PSLV. But now we can also launch heavier launch vehicle. Not only through PSLV, we can also now use Mark 3 to space to place the satellites in the space. See, now we are just accounting for the 2% of the market share. Our space industry will accounting only for the 2% of market share. NASA, Europe or the China, they are having a much more market. See, small countries, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, they can't launch their own satellites. They are depending on other nations, other people to develop or to launch their satellites. So now we will use this also. Not only our PSLV, our major strength is PSLV. Not only that, now we also have other strength, that is Mark 3. So not just we are having 2%. Now we can capture larger chunk of the commercial space sector. And heaviest payload. This is till date, our space organization heaviest payload is Mark 3. This launch is the heaviest one. So that is a good step towards our space industry, our space organization, or space exploration. This is a very good step. What I'm trying to do here is, manaki possible question in this total scenario. Not only this, there are other articles that were coming more and more. By next week, we'll have good number of articles on the space. Don't worry. So we'll take this in the next week. What is that? On the topic called space economy. I like to take that early itself, but if we wait for one more week, we'll have a good content on the space economy. See, that is going to be our new economy. See, space organization till now, ISRO is launching for last few years, we are launching only for satellite that is needed for India. But now we are going to launch commercially. We are already doing that, but how this sector, what we have to do further? So what will be the framework? If I want to read the space economy of India, what will be the framework? See, I always used to encourage think. ఆలోచించండి. నేనే ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ ఇచ్చి నేనే చెప్తే మీ బుర్ర పనిచేయదు. థింక్. ఎలా చూడాలి? ఒక స్పేస్ ఎకానమీ ఉంది అని చెప్తున్నాను. ఏమొస్తుంది? ఫస్ట్ థాట్ ఏమొస్తుంది? ఎంత షేర్ ఉంది ఇండియాకి? What were the launch vehicles that we are using? If I'm using, so we are using PSLV, but now we also have Mark 3. Okay, and if I, so what else? So what are the present situation of our space economy? Present condition ఏంటి? లాంచ్ వెహికల్స్ అయినా ఎంత షేర్ ఉందైనా ఏమేమైనా సపరేట్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కావాలా, మానిటరింగ్ కావాలా, ఏం కావాలి అన్నది ద ప్రెసెంట్ వన్ విల్ సీ. నెక్స్ట్ వాట్ విల్ సీ? వాట్ విల్ బీ ద ఛాలెంజెస్ ఫర్ టు డెవలప్ దిస్ స్పేస్ ఎకానమీ? సో వాట్ విల్ బీ గోయింగ్ టు బీ అవర్ ఫ్యూచర్? ఫ్యూచర్లో వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డూ? Reusable launch vehicle. If I develop a reusable launch vehicle, I can send many commercial satellites into the space. So this is how you have to read a space economy. మనకు ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఆర్టికల్ వస్తే స్పేస్ ఎకానమీతో ఒక ఆర్టికల్ వచ్చింది అనుకుందాం రేపు, హిందూలోనో ఇండియన్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్లోనో. సో మీరు ఏ పాయింట్స్ కోసం చూడాలి? ఆల్ ద పాయింట్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో విల్ టేక్ దోస్ పాయింట్స్ దట్ ఫిట్ ఇన్ అవర్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్. ఓకే, someone even answer from online revenue to government. Yeah, that's a good point, Verma. Yeah, it will increase. Commercial perspective is revenue to government. It's a huge revenue. Millions and millions of money was already earned by NASA and other. See, when I'm getting a good amount of money for the space industry, I can do more explorations. I can do Mars. I can send a permanent mission to the Mars. We can send human beings to the Mars. All the revenue, we'll get it from the commercial wing. Space lo commercial wing, we can go over there. Next. So I want you to talk about this bronze idols. Bronze idols. So we have... see, the point is not about here. The news is, so we recovered the stolen bronze idols. So my intention is not going to discuss whether we recover the Vishnu, Sridevi or Bhudevi idols or not. My intention is how these bronze sculptures are made. So they use the technique called Sereperdu or lost wax technique. This technique was used in Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization, there is a dancing girl. So the dancing girl, the bronze was made by lost wax technique. Do you know what is this lost wax technique? Yes or no? Okay, there's mixed answers. Fine. So what they are going to do? First they will make a mold. Suppose if I want to make a mold of this, like ee shape lo bronze metal kavali, oka vase kavali of this shape. So what I'm going to do first, I will make this vase with wax. Wax toti, I'll make the shape of it. See, I can make the eyes or the nose with the wax. We can carve on wax easily. Okay, so we'll do it in the wax. After that, what we'll do, we will surround that wax mold with clay or other materials, terracotta, all these materials. We will surround this wax. And then we will heat it. When we'll heat, what will happen? We'll keep a drain. And we will remove all this wax. We'll remove the wax. Karigipothe wax anta kindaku vachestadi kada mainam anta. So now what we'll do? In that vent, we will pour the whatever the metal. So here it is bronze metal. So we'll pour the bronze metal into the... So and after that, what will happen? Once the mold is cooled and everything, we will remove this clay. So we will have this body. And then we'll cut this one. So the whatever the ending that we have, so we'll cut this one. So we'll have this mold. So by using other instruments, fine instruments, we'll give the polishing and fining everything. We'll do. This is lost wax technique. So why I'm telling you this is, UPSC many times asked us the question about mudras or the positions. See, we got a question on Bhumi Sparsha Mudra of Buddha. See, Buddha have different positions. Different mudras also. See, his Dharma Chakra Parivartana Mudra will be like this, holding one hand, and with the other hand he will hold like this. Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. There is a UPSC previous year question is Bhumi Sparsha Mudra. So when he realized this nirvana, he touched the earth. Whether that is true or not. So question, Bhumi Sparsha Mudra ante enti ani adagaledu. The question is how it is. He is sitting on a two postures, by touching the earth. That is how they asked. They also asked us a question on Tribhanga posture. What is Tribhanga? It's a dance sculpture. So where the dance idol will be like this. So in the most of the dances, Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi, Odissi, all will have Tribhanga postures. So if the question is, see, we have this Nataraja sculpture, bronze Cholas. The Cholas was in news nowadays. So manan Chola architecture question was already done. UPSC already gave that question for 5 marker long back. The architecture reached its zenith in Chola's period. That is a question, UPSC mains question. But now they can ask us a question. The Cholas are known for their bronze Nataraja idol. Nataraja dancing posture of Shiva. Nataraja idol. So what the question they'll ask is, his left hand raised. What will be in his left hand? What will be in his right hand? This will be ring of fire. This is ring of fire. So there will be a demon under his leg. Such type of questions can be asked. NCERT art and culture book, you'll have in a small box, you'll have a description about this Nataraja sculpture, the ring of it. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, you have to observe the previous year question papers. I'm not asking you to by heart them, I'm asking you to observe them. Oh, ilanti question kuda adagachu, describing a sculpture. So please go through such type of things whenever you come at, not all stupid sculptures, but important ones. As the Cholas are in news, so we'll just give a thought about it. Okay, see, why I got you this is, I told you many times when in the news we have an Nalanda, I told you this, right? In the orientation class, and many times I told you. See, in the Nalanda University, about many discussions were going on in the newspaper. Amartya Sen talked about it. China gave funds for the Nalanda University. Vietnam, Japan, South Korea, many people gave. But what happened? UPSC did not ask about Nalanda University, they asked about Takshila University. అంటే మనం ఆలోచిస్తున్నామా లేదా they're thinking, నలంద యూనివర్సిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్స్ అప్పుడు నలంద యూనివర్సిటీ ఉంది అంటే అక్కడ ఏముంటుంది, ఇంకొక యూనివర్సిటీ ఏదైనా ఉందా, ఒట్టి నలంద యూనివర్సిటీ ఉందా, ఇంకా వేరే యూనివర్సిటీస్ లేవా అని మన క్వశ్చన్ రావాలి. వెన్ యూ క్వశ్చన్ దట్ యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో అబౌట్ తక్షశిలా యూనివర్సిటీ. UPSC మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్ తక్షశిలా. వెన్ వీఆర్ థింకింగ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ బ్రాంజ్ ఐడల్స్ దొరికాయి, లేకపోతే చోలాస్ అంటే వాళ్ళు అడిగేది ఇట్లాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుతారు, భీమన్ ఇట్లాంటివి. I just bought this topic to throw a perspective on current affairs. ఎట్లా క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగచ్చు, వచ్చిన టాపిక్ వేరు, వాళ్ళు అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ వేరు ఉంటుంది, బట్ అది రిలేటెడ్ టు ద కరెంట్ అఫైర్సే ఉంటుంది. ఇట్ ఈస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్, బట్ ద వే ద put the questions are different. So just give a thought about it whenever you're going through anything such type of topics. So observe them, just observe చేయండి అంతే. I'll ask them to send this PPT for you guys, because these are easy topics, financial action task force and other topics. The major reason I was interested in these topics is to show you a different perspective. See, in 1 hour I wanted to show you chala ippudu. See, I can bring you this 2 islands are recognized in blue flag in Lakshadweep. You learned that news, right? In Lakshadweep islands, 2 islands were recognized as blue flag. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఆ టాపిక్ తీసుకొచ్చా, అది ఈవెన్ యూ కెన్ రీడ్. ఇఫ్ ఐ గివ్ ఎ మెటీరియల్ యూ కెన్ రీడ్ ఆన్ యువర్ ఓన్. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు బ్రింగ్ సచ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ టాపిక్స్ ఇన్ 1 hour discussion. So we'll have discussion where we need a different perspectives. So please observe. If you're in my class, don't try to learn or by heart the content. Learn the thinking, framework and the perspective. Current affairs ni choose vidhanam maral. The way you see them should change. Thank you guys. I'll ask them to send you this PPT so that you can go through it.